Yesterday at San Diego Comic-Con, we were treated to a second trailer for The Rings of Power Season 2. And if you look on the official Amazon Prime YouTube page, you can see it's already getting ratioed. But that's not even the end of it too, because at the panel where they showed this trailer, some of the cast and showrunners were talking about it. And during some of the questions, things sounded pretty bad for people who are fans of Tolkien's work. The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2 will feature Sauron and Galadriel romance and also seemingly feature an LGBTQ character. This is coming from That Park Place. The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2 will continue its assault on J.R.R. Tolkien and his work with actor Charlie Vickers and showrunner Patrick McKay, confirming that it will feature a romance between Galadriel and Sauron. McKay also seemingly confirmed the show features LGBTQ plus characters as well. Now, anyone who knows the work of Tolkien will know this kind of flies in the face of everything that he stood for from a religious standpoint, but let's look at this because apparently the people running the show over at Amazon don't actually care about the source material. They just want to use some popular IP in order to try to push their own agenda. During a Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con, actor Charlie Vickers, who plays Sauron, alongside showrunners Patrick McKay and J.D. Payne, as well as Galadriel actress Morfydd Clark, were asked if the show's second season would feature more of the romance that between Galadriel and Sauron that the first season showed. When asked in the panel about whether Sauron and Galadriel will have a romantic relationship, Vickers responded, "I think there is hope. What can we say?" He was asking showrunner Patrick McKay what can they actually say during this panel. McKay encouraged him by saying, say it, say it. So then Vickers responded, "Yeah, I think we will," meaning there will be a romantic relationship between Sauron and Galadriel, something that never happened in the source material, but no one's ever accused Amazon Prime of trying to faithfully follow the source material. In fact, that's really a large portion of why there's so much criticism for the Rings of Power. To be clear, Galadriel never had any kind of romantic relationship with Sauron and J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium, given she was married to Celeborn, and Celeborn has been absent from the show, and the reason being, or at least the reason why I think it is because they're trying to set up Galadriel as some type of feminist girl boss sort of thing, and that would kind of not work for what they're trying to go with by having her married. So instead, they're just making her some single girl boss warrior type, which is a large portion of why the show just doesn't work, because that's not in fitting with Galadriel character. She's supposed to be more refined and elegant. She doesn't need to be a warrior to be powerful. And that's why she's so powerful, because she doesn't need a sword. But to me, what they're doing with the show is just kind of denigrating her. But I guess the people making it don't think so, or at least they have a different agenda that they're trying to push with it. Not only will the second season foster a romance between Sauron and Galadriel, but showrunner Patrick McKay seemingly confirmed that the show features LGBTQ plus characters. Fellowship of Fans wrote on X, Patrick McKay answering a question on whether we will see LGBTQ plus character in the show in the future. Maybe you already have, meaning they've already had characters like that, so they just need to have someone come out for the second season, which to me is kind of a ridiculous thing given the author of the source material. This is anathema to Tolkien, who made it clear that The Lord of the Rings was a fundamentally religious and Catholic work, unconsciously so at first, but consciously in the revision. And then it goes to talk about how such a thing would have been against the teachings of Catholicism, something that Tolkien himself would have believed, unless maybe they're going to make Sauron gay in it or something like that. Then I guess maybe that would kind of fit in line with the teachings of Catholicism, but I doubt they're going to be doing that when it comes to this show. And to me, this is the most insidious part of this too, because some people might say Catholicism is changed or whatever. They're more accepting of different things like that. Now it's like, well, maybe that's the case. I'm not personally Catholic, so I can't attest to that. But one of the things is back in Tolkien's time, they would have had a different and more conservative understanding of things like this. And that's why I think if you're going to try to adapt something from his, then you should try to stay faithful to the intentions of the author. And by doing it this way, to me, it's more insidious, because not only are they trying to basically use someone else's IP to push their own agenda, but they're basically trying to pervert someone's IP and make it something that he would have never actually made it be. And to me, this fundamental disrespect for the source material is the large part of why people didn't like the first season of The Rings of Power. They can say during interviews and stuff like that, it's like, oh, we're just going to the source material and using that. It's like, you're not going to the source material in order to try to stay faithful. You're just trying to pick at it like a vulture or whatever to try to find references and names that you can use for your thing, but you're not actually trying to be faithful for what the original author intended for it. And that's why people can pick up on that and didn't like it. And I think that's a large reason why we saw when the first trailer for The Rings of Power came out, it had this huge ratio, that and the fact that it was just such a terrible wig that they were using to try to disguise Sauron that was getting roasted in the comments when that came about. But you can see the like to dislike ratio was terrible for this, only 105,000 upvotes to 579,000 down. So it's not looking too good. And this new one that just came out is already getting ratioed. And I'm pretty sure as time goes on, it'll get even worse for that too. And this is fundamentally Amazon's fault, because if you try to stay faithful to the source material like Peter Jackson did with the movies, then you're going to get a lot better reception to it. But because they're trying to just use this to push their own political agenda, you're going to get a lot of pushback like this, and it's to their own detriment too. And if they're going to continue down this path, then I can see Rings of Power Season 2 being a bigger failure than Season 1. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think they're really going to go down this route, or do you think it's just like, I don't know, publicity? Comment below. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest in entertainment news. And if you can, click that like button and share the video with your friends because it helps out with the channel. Thank you.